Well, the Forbes family says it believes police are doing all they can to find AKA's killers. 7 months later, they are still grieving the musician's death and reflecting on his legacy. AKA's Cape Town-based family speaks exclusively to our senior reporter, Dasen Thathiah.
So we're in an area called Glenhaven, which is just sort of just on the outside of Bellville. And when he started his schooling, we lived here. The house, I can already.
So he was born here?
Yeah. So in Cape Town. We lived in Mitchell's Plain for a short period, but this is the house. I can see looks a bit different now. It's got a fence on, but this is the house that we lived in. And
this would have been in the early 90s.
Yeah. And this is where we moved from when we moved to Joburg. So Kenan used to play, in this park, and his friend William, lived in this house. So yeah.
And just a stone's throw away, just 2 doors away.
Yeah. And there's a school for the blind on the other side. This is an old area. I grew up in Bellville South, which is just down the road.
So this is quite close. This was coming back home for you, essentially.
Yeah. So maybe I'll drive through there.
Okay.
So this is as, I guess, the hood as it can be for when Kenan grew up. This is the hood.
Doesn't really look much like the hood.
Maybe, okay. So Mitchell's Plain, I mean, when we grew up in Mitchell's Plain, it was okay. So we're going up to the school where Kenan did some of his primary schooling. It's called the Holy Cross Sister School. And it's on your right hand side, so it's a Catholic school.
Is this where he started going to school?
Yeah, so this is where he started. His primary school, he used to run around here playing football, as a youngster. So it's a small school.
So he was at this school right until your family left the Western Cape?
Yes. And then from here, I remember he played soccer on that field one day, and he was a goalkeeper. And they kicked the ball straight at him, and he was winded. And then I ran up onto the field, and I picked him up, and I comforted him, and he was crying.
What did you say to him?
Just sorry, my boy. And then years later, when I remember playing at St. John's College, at high school, he scored his first goal. I told him, Kenan, he played sort of on the right side of midfield. I told him, Kenan, just wait, don't go in the box. That ball's going to come loose, and when the ball comes loose, then you hit it. And of course, the ball came loose, and he hit it bottom right hand corner. And then he ran off the field straight to me, and he jumped in my arms, and he said, remember that time when I got winded at primary school? So it was like full cycle.
So do you have these reflections sometimes when you're driving through this part of town?
Yeah, for sure. I don't I don't come here that often, but I stay very close to it. We used to come to the gym, what's now the Virgin, and he used to go with to the gym, and he used to say, Dad, are we going to the gym? So we're here seeing Candace, who's Kenan's aunt. She's my younger sister, so she pretty much grew up with Kenan also.
Were they close?
Yeah, they were close. She's close.
Hi.
She was close with him. Yeah, we recorded him. Where?
You get 40 years versus
Just there.
Okay. Let's just park here.
Hope she's got tea for us.
So we're going to talk about a few things today, and by and large it's about it's been 7 months since your family lost Kenan, and I want to talk to you about where you are at personally in this process of healing after all this time.
I think it comes in waves, so it's sort of an ongoing. It's ongoing. I remember Kenan telling me, so when Anele passed away, he said, you have to find that place where you can sort of file it away, because if you cannot file it away, you won't be able to function. So that's what I think I tend to do, so I file it away, but I do allow myself those moments when I do feel it. And I'm just kind to myself, allow myself that, and I don't think it will ever go away, because there's such a lot of questions as well, and a lot of feelings of it wasn't his time.
It's an unnatural situation for many families, because you have a person who's grown up just like you, in front of you, as people say, and then they morph into this superstar and become, I guess to a certain point, owned by the broader public. They feel entitled, and they feel like they have a stake in this person. So let's first talk about that and how it happened. And how did you manage to balance the types of normal moments, like I see here in the pictures, with that other side, the alter ego, the other persona?
I don't know, I think it just came naturally, because I think Kenan was himself, whether he was on stage or whether he was with us. Like from a young age he was already performing, so we knew that that was sort of his life. And there wasn't much of a separation. He was just true to who he was always, and we knew that from when he was younger. So I don't think that there was that separation. I do understand what you're referring to, but for me, there wasn't that separation. Kenan was always Kenan.
It was Kenan, no matter where you saw.
Where he was the same. Same energy, brought the same energy, same personality, everything.
So that was the person who was sitting here in your living room was the person essentially that you would see on stage.
Yes, he was himself all the time.
And then when he passed, there was so much going on, because it wasn't a natural death. So you had people coming with speculation, you had conspiracy theories, and you had all of this, which really was clouding what should have been a really private time for your family, a time of mourning, time to grieve your loved one. How then did you navigate that process? It couldn't have been easy.
No, it wasn't. I mean, I think I just had to also shut out the noise, and just, I think at that point you had to also deal with it yourself on your own, because it was too much also in the public. And wherever you turn on social media or you turn on, it was just Kenan and the conspiracy theory. So I didn't pay much attention to what people were saying, but yeah, I just had to deal with it on my own, I think, process it, and with family as well.
In the time that you spent together, what story could you tell me, or what example could you make which defines what you think Kenan was and the legacy that he leaves?
Loyalty comes to mind. He was so loyal. He didn't care about where we came from, so he often visited Mitchell's Plain. He was so proud of it, even though it's on the Cape Flats. He brought all his friends there. I got pics of him and Tibbs there, brought them to my mom. My mom just cooked simple roast potatoes, chicken, because that was his favorite, and he was happy about that. And he was loyal no matter how big he became. He still came home. He still often called you to say, I miss and I love you. So he still kept in touch with everyone.
Your funniest memory or most embarrassing moment that you shared, what is it? Something that makes you laugh when you think back.
I just I think it's on the green couch in Houghton, us watching, what is it? CSI.
Yeah.
And we watched, I think it's the one with Miami,
Yes.
with Horatio. And he always made the reference that he was Horatio. So that was, all those moments on that green couch was very special.
You'll never watch CSI the same again.
No, especially with Horatio.
Appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.